I feel like I'm gonna be going the route of Andre Leon Talley as I get older. I just want to wear caftans everywhere. No matter how, no matter how that body be looking. I'm hoping that my body don't turn out like a big old pound of mashed potatoes, but
But you got a caftan. We'll never know one way or the
other. Let me twirl in the wind for you. Come on now. Come on, like, body.
They go Auntie Dewan with all that fabric.
Hey, community. Here's what's brewing today.
Mary J's Super Bowl.
The Nope trailer.
And Ask Yo Aunteas Midnight Train to Georgia. So get your cups ready for Minority Report.
Hey, welcome to Minority Report. It's Auntea Jerrell.
What's up, y'all? It's Dewan.
Hey, y'all, and it's Auntea Jerrell. Well, she changed that intro today.
She said it's Dewan. It sounded like Mobb Deep or something.
She said she was also shit up
I had to come back. I had to come back because you came creeping in on my intro last week. So, it had to get a little something.
He had to get in there like double dutch. He's like, it's Dewan.
And that's it. That's all y'all get for the rest of the night.
Oh, man, that's too funny.
It's good to see y'all.
It's good to see you, too.
Y'all, too.
And it's still Black History Month, y'all. So, Hey. Come on now. Hey. And I think are we still doing, I think this week we're still doing another Black History Live on our Instagram. I believe we have a guest. If not, It'll be us. But those have been fun. Thank you, Marvin, last week for hopping on again from Melanated Social Work. So check them out. Their podcast is everything. Check out his social work and all that and his Instagram. But yeah, Black History Month. And you know what?
It was a fun conversation.
It was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
It really was.
We had to talk about a lot.
And it's cool just for him, and y'all check it out. And you never know, it might be an episode that we put up on here one of these days. But it's just cool to hear a different perspective because he is a bi man. And those stories don't get told as often. And just kind of like the struggle of dealing with both sides of the coin, where like the gay community is like, oh bitch, you're gay, and then like the straight community like, oh, I don't want to deal with the bi man, I don't know, So it's dope to kind of hear his perspective. So I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, even the fact that he's like still quite new, in accepting and really stepping into his own queerness, that so like for somebody who has a background in social work. And understanding like the psychology of how the human brain works and and all of those kind of like principles and ideals that he does in his regular day job, and then to like try to reconcile those things with oneself, that's
so true.
That was really a really good conversation.
So yeah, community, if you're not checking them out, we be going live, bitches. We be going live. And we'll be doing more of that this year. I at least I thoroughly enjoy it. It kind of gives a different kind of approach, and the community was asking some good questions in there too. So like I screen capped a lot of them, and we'll probably bring them up on different kind of segments over the coming weeks, honestly, because we couldn't get onto everything because we were trying to focus on the subject matter at hand. But I was like, damn, that is a good ass question.
We're gonna have to do the next one a little later though, because I'll still be at work when y'all be jumping on live, and I'll be like, God damn, I want to go in this office real quick and just
see. That's when you go to that little bathroom break that you be like, let me go boo boo right quick.
Look, girl, my boss's boss had already caught me taking a selfie in the bathroom, so I was like, you know what? I already stopped.
Coming live from the Stall Studios.
Splash, splash, splash.
Right, drip, drip, drip. Right.
Look, not HR already coming over to him with that piece of paper because now they done found out that he's trying to build an OnlyFans. Like you don't have to sign this.
Right.
Girl, it was so awkward too. It was so awkward. I was like, I'm gonna look this man in his face again.
That's the worst.
That is too funny.
But that was cute, and I got to see pictures. So
hey, that's all that matters.
isn't being embarrassed like just a weird emotion altogether?
It is a
like
very
just
weird
the
emotion.
process of like, you know, there's like the self-realization of what happened. And then like your mind starts to like obsess over like what happened. And then like your body, I don't know about y'all, but like body starts reacting. It's like getting
You start getting hot,
right? Yeah. Like you be like, oh girl. Ooh, you gotta air it out.
And the funniest part of it to me is like just a split second before you were in like pure joy and an enjoyment. That's right. The like weird thing to me. It's like you go from pure joy to like, oh shit, I don't know how to act.
And you know, normally I am very good at being like, fuck it. It is what it is. Normally I'm really good. When it's strangers who I don't care about, who I don't need to know, I ain't gonna see them again, I don't care. But when it's somebody who you have to interact with and you gotta, but y'all ain't that close, you're like, ooh, damn, like this bitch.
Because you want to be seen in a certain kind of light. You want to be seen in a certain kind of light with those kind of individuals or whatever.
I don't want them to think they know me like that. I don't want them to feel that close to me, because now I invite them in to see a part of me that ain't supposed to be at work. So
and you know, with Jerrell, he had the booty toothed out and everything.
That's what I tell you. That's when I tell you I was sitting. I was like, boom, bitch, I was here. And he opened the door because the mirror's right behind the door too. So I was like, oh, what the?
You heard that?
And he looked. He was like, hey, and I was like, whoop. Hey, and I ran.
Bag check, bag check, bag check, bag check.
Like, hey man, gotta go to work.
Girl, it was a mess. I'm telling you. And then I had a one-on-one with him afterwards, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know how to talk to this man. So I just said that, yeah, I'm good.
Right, I'm
got short answers, everything.
And your shirt all pitted out and everything.
That's the worst.
That's everything, though. I'm here for
first impression, too. That was the first time we didn't ever met.
In the bathroom?
Girl! Girl! I'm telling you, first impression. I was like, wow. Well, you know me.
Right.
Look, next, you better get used to this.
Right. This all you're getting now. This it. You're getting the real now.
Right.
Next time I'm gonna ask you to take the picture and I'm gonna stand here and pose.
Might as well. But I don't know, with your employer, they probably already knew all the selfies you take.
Well, first of all, they already know about the podcast because I talked about it in my interview. So I'm sure they'd already done their research and they didn't heard me and seen me on here. So
love it. You know, today we had like our part one of our North American sales meeting, and so obviously it's still virtual, and so trying to get people to engage. They're like, oh, you know, we have these questions. Put in like, you know, your favorite picture of you and your like spouse, or what's your favorite podcast? And I was like, ooh, do I put Minority Report out there or not? I didn't do it, and it's still a question for tomorrow still that we could do it. But I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if all of North America need to hear me.
At least you don't have the same manager anymore, so the manager name game
That's
won't
true.
be as important.
God, but she's in there, like she's in.
Look, but you're gonna be in Philly, so it don't even make a difference.
Right? What she gonna do?
And it don't make a difference now. She in. I'm not even gonna. I almost said her city. She in a different city than Atlanta.
So community, what's happening right now is this is how you know that the aunties are friends in real life, because when the conversation gets going, we almost just like let it all out.
It sure do. Give all our socials and everything.
I really do, girl.
It's like, damn. But so there's a lot of shit that happened this week. So Super Bowl went down. And obviously, like in community, you hear us over the years now, like we really don't watch the NFL anymore. But I watched the Super Bowl because of the halftime show. So I was excited to see Mary. But it turned out to be a black ass halftime show.
Oh, bitch! Let me tell you, I was flying back from Minnesota, so I didn't get to watch the Super Bowl. But literally, as I landed, the Super Bowl had started, you know, this is how you know niggas. You know how you know black folks. My sister FaceTimed me and she knew that I was not gonna be able to watch it.
Yeah.
So she FaceTimed me to show me the Super Bowl on her
That's
TV.
the way to do it.
Via FaceTime. So I'm sitting waiting to deboard the plane. Go like, hey, I'm literally on the plane watching the performance via FaceTime from my sister from her place.
Ooh, honey, I hope he was on Spirit because we don't act like that on Delta.
Oh, right.
Girl, let me tell you.
I'm just playing.
Look, a Blackity Black moment like that is everywhere. Girl.
I'm just playing.
And it was funny, the boy next to me was looking at my phone because he knew I was watching it. And it was hilarious. Yeah. I lived for it. So then I got home and I finally watched it and I was just like, bitch, every year.
What was your favorite part?
Standard. Oh, I think honestly, Mary was my favorite part of the whole thing. Mary was my favorite, and I liked Kendrick a lot too. Because and now honestly, they were the only two that were live. So like, it was good. I loved it though.
What about you, Carell?
You know, hold on. I'm having computer issues. Hold on, my computer about to shut down.
You were freezing a little bit over there.
Devon, you say yours because my computer about to die. Hold on.
I have to say that Mary was the show. Everybody else was kind of like just like, you know, the icing on the cake, but Mary to me was just like the show. And I don't know if that's just because you know, the little Gaby in me, you always gravitate towards, the strong black women that's on stage doing the thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if that's what it is. Obviously had a lot of love for all the artists and whatnot. I have to say though, I was a little bit underwhelmed. Like I felt like it could have been bigger. Not that it had to be, but I just felt like it could. Let me rephrase that. I was expecting something bigger, so bigger production numbers, like pyrotechnics, like, like the whole thing. But in terms of just like letting the music speak for itself, like, I mean, yeah, you just, it don't get any better than that.
Absolutely. And, it's funny, like, I completely agree with you. Like, I think I had more expectations as well. But when I sit back and think about how many artists actually performed, I was like, there is no way for it to be better with so many people on the stage sharing time. There was like 5 or 6 different artists who tried to get in their own songs and give you like a 45-second little snippet, of what they had to, what they have to give. So I do feel a little robbed. I wish I would have had some like more Mary J. Blige. I wish I would have had some more like Snoop Dogg. I wish I would have had some more Kendrick Lamar. I could have do without Eminem.
We'll talk about that. Auntie got a couple of thoughts on that.
Yeah, I could have done without Eminem.
I do feel like with a lot of pop stars, or like, like you look at Beyonce, you look at, at Madonna, you look at, like you look at all these stars that are performers. And what I had to do is I had to separate out, like, there are stars that are performers, and then there are stars that perform in a different kind of way. And like the rap vibe is exactly what was demonstrated. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like when you go to a rap concert,
because that's the genre. That's the genre. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
And it doesn't. They don't need all the stuff. Like they have like the overly produced productions and the big backdrops and blah blah blah. You have 15,000 people that's on the stage and they're all rapping each other's lyrics, and that's the show. Yeah. And everybody in the crowd is rapping along with them. So it's like I had to separate in my mind, like, okay, Beyonce and them is over here, and that's one kind of experience.
Yes.
Snoop Dogg and Mary and them is a completely different time. And
literally it was like Beyonce, Jay-Z. Like I literally had to separate exactly like that. Yeah. And I completely agree with you. And I think that's the reason why I appreciate it so much more, because it wasn't your traditional pop bubblegum like this is for America. No, this was for Black folks. This was for Black men. This is for the culture. And I think that's what I loved about it. Like, it was not about jumping through the hoops of trying to entertain like a pop star, but being like, hey, I'm an artist and this is how my craft looks like, which is not something you see often in like on stages like this. You think about even just like a lot of like award shows outside like BET, you know, or like NAACP or Essence, or you know, any of those. You think of like the Grammys, you know, MTV Music Awards, you know, Billboards, all those. You don't see a lot of rappers who aren't female rappers who also rap and entertain. You don't see a lot of them really rapping on stage anymore.
Not even a whole lot like, of MC Hammers running around
here. Go Hammer, no, go Hammer, go.
Too legit to quit. Hey, hey. You don't see a lot of that happening at all.
No.
That's a true statement. I agree. Like, and I was trying to catch that. Like, my computer was dying for some reason. The plug wasn't working. But you know what? Like, I get what you were saying, DeJuan, and I think I heard you say like, you just needed more like spectacle of it. But I don't want to see Snoop out there doing an 8 count. I don't think, and I don't want to see like Dre out there doing an 8 count. You know?
And you can imagine that shit would be like,
right? Be like, okay, that's somebody granddaddy up there doing too much. So like, I was like, they did them. And I just loved seeing the dancers doing crip walking. I was like, this is just that black.
Hey, I was sitting there, I was just like,
they had the khakis creased. And so I was just like, wow. But and so like, I had a lot of emotions. I was like, this is dope. I was like, Gen Z ain't gonna get this performance. They're not gonna understand this.
What's for us?
It was for us.
Us.
But then I was just like, God, again, it's the NFL and they have us entertaining them. And I keep going back and forth in my head. I'm like, damn, how many times do we have to be the entertainment to get into these doors and these tables and these rooms? Because like, even before the Super Bowl, they were having conversations about how there weren't enough black coaches and things like that. So I was just like, damn, like, should we be doing this? But then I was like, you know what? We've always utilized entertainment to get what we needed. And so I had to kind of go from that frame, like, you know what? Yep, it's not exactly what we want, but this is another stepping stone to get what we want.
You got to remember, Jay-Z is in the room. Jay-Z is in the room when it comes to the halftime entertainment.
Absolutely.
So I don't see it as us entertaining them, because the truth of the fact is, I think if it was us entertaining them, it would have been more pop. It would not have been as for the culture as that halftime was. Like, that was so pro-black. That was so for black folks.
Yeah.
Like, unless you are a white person who's aware of the culture, that went right over your head. It went just like the person, just like the one person who was like, oh, Snoop Dogg smoked a joint before the Super Bowl. He lost a real fan. Bitch, if you actually knew Snoop Dogg, you would have been like, I'm surprised he didn't do that laugh on motherfucking TV.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think this was for a them thing. I really
it absolutely wasn't.
For an us thing.
Yeah.
But
I just think there is
Go ahead.
Real quick. I also think there's this notion about, there's like this duality, because I feel like the opportunity for these specific artists to perform was also about like affirming our blackness versus entertainment for all of them. Because girl, I was looking at the, you know, the bleachers all around, seeing nothing but white faces, and you know, from them $5,000 a pop tickets plus, you know, see a white faces, but like, you know, that they weren't nearly as hyped as those of us at home that's just watching this, who understand what exactly is happening. So like, this notion of, you know, like, because I mean, look, NFL is 75%, if not more, black, and we entertaining white folks every single Sunday. So we doing that song and dance, you know. So I do feel like there is that duality of, you know what, this is an opportunity to, it's a FUBU moment. It's a for us by us moment. And if you're not in it and you're not liking it, you don't get it, that's because it's not for you.
It
boo.
ain't for you, boo boo.
It ain't for
And
you.
all of
And that's
Atlanta was
okay.
upset still though. Like everyone in Atlanta, I saw like people posting, they're like, why couldn't Atlanta get this? Like we had Maroon 5 and LA get what they get. And I was like, that is so true. We had some stupid ass Maroon. I mean, I like Maroon 5, but for Atlanta, like in LA, they got it right this time. They got it right. And I think Jay started right after the Atlanta year.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So it's dope to see Jay infiltrating the NFL and literally putting on a black ass show. Mary J. Blige was Auntie Mary up there, had the thighs all out, had the boots all on.
She looked great. I said, "Come on,
Honey.
51, bitch, come on."
And she
girl.
had extra bundles this week. She said, "I'm gonna get all these blonde bundles in here." I was like,
and look, she gave us choreo. She gave us choreo. Did you see her
talk
try
about
to
her
dip it halfway?
But can you see her choreography though? Is her dancing though? Just
Yes.
natural Mary.
That's all I wanted.
Yes,
That's all I wanted. All I wanted was a Go Mary moment.
The whole thing was so memeable. The whole thing, like I mean, the whole thing. So who got the most smoke? Because we've all been, on social. Who
50
out of
probably
everybody
got the most smoke.
50 talking about he look like a whole dollar now.
Yeah.
I said
50 got the whole smoke. Because like Mary is memeable. Like Mary meme's gonna be forever now.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really like aimed at her. It was just like
the action. Yeah.
When she was on
Mary, I mean,
down.
50 got smoked.
Yeah.
I saw one that said he looked like soft serve ice cream coming out.
I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so done.
Look.
And I like we had people over for the Super Bowl, and when Kendrick came out, bitch, I was like, shit! And all these gays was looking at me like, where the fuck did this come from? I'm like, I'm just telling you, I'm so lit right now.
I was watching with Fizz, and Fizz didn't know who he was, and I said that I was like, hey, I was like, come on now, like this.
Kendrick came out there with guns blazing. He was
like,
oh
man.
Yeah, that was dope. And you know what? I gotta give it to Janae. I can never say her name right. Aiko. She's not the biggest singer. She's almost like a Cassie to me. But at the end, she gave us a couple little runs. I was like, oh, okay, Janae. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Was she saying the national anthem?
Nope, she's saying America the Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
America the Beautiful. Yeah. And so it was like the whole version was like pretty standard. But then at the end she said, oh. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I'm a singer. And then they had Mary Singing the Black National Anthem, which was dope. And people be sleeping on Mary. Like, people forget Mary's dope as hell. And maybe I shouldn't say dope as hell for gospel artists.
Christian group.
Just dope. and then who sang the national? Yeah, she did the damn thing too.
I love her.
She did the damn thing. So it was
Blackity Black all the way around. And I'm just,
you know what I didn't like?
What's that?
I didn't like Eminem's beard. His Just For Me.
He's been dying that.
Just for me.
Like literally the last 2 times I've seen him before.
Just for men, I mean. Just for men. Not just for me.
The rest of the dancers and everything was just for me.
But it looks very like
processed.
Yeah.
It looks like Mr. Potato Head. You know how Mr. Potato Head, those pieces that you put on or whatever. It looks very put on.
Yeah.
Not even in like a Beijing kind of like Detroit kind of way, because that's Jermaine Jackson got that on lock.
Honey.
but no, it just felt very like,
Yeah, you're right.
It's not his color.
I didn't care for that. And also, to be honest with you, like when he knelt, to me, I would have wished that he had his fist up as well, because I didn't know if he was taking a breath.
I mean, Mary then fell out, and I thought he was just.
I didn't even see it. I saw Dr. Dre. I was like, Dr. Dre know how to play the piano like that? That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I missed it. I didn't see it until the memes.
I did check out when he kind of came on. I was like, oh, snap back to reality. Oh my God, here we go.
Well, I mean, I had to stay in it because that's Michigan, so I had to.
I know you did.
I still had to be like, okay, come on, Michigan.
I don't know. I just felt like it would have been a good opportunity for him to like really like protest, because it's not like he's gonna ever I would doubt that he would ever do this again. You know, maybe like.
But apparently
years.
he was told by production not to do that though.
Yeah, well,
So
I'm
that's
saying
one
like
of the nice things.
if I was in Eminem's shoes, I would be like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna kneel. He doesn't have to say it, but like kneel and probably wear like something that says Black Lives Matter, like to really put it in people. Because like I felt like, again, when I saw that him kneeling, I was like, wait a minute, is he kneeling because it's a protest, or is he just trying to catch his breath?
Yeah,
probably a little bit of both.
I agree. Like I wish it would have been more of a statement as an ally to you know, like Black Lives Matters and the importance of what kneeling is. I wish particularly it would have been evident. Yes, I wish it would have been evident that was why he was kneeling. If that makes sense, so I completely agree. Yeah, but I have to say this though, like he didn't have to. And he still did, even though he was warned not to. So I'm like, cool, you know, good for you. But I'm not gonna highlight the man, be like, oh my god, he did this. I'm like, I'm not gonna give props to a white person do what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Period.
And it's Black History Month, so I'm definitely not gonna do it.
Come on out with the words. I know that's right. But yeah, and you know what? And it was the first game I saw all season, and it was actually a decent game. So I was like, okay. I mean, and it was because the Detroit Rams.
Quarterback's from Detroit.
Exactly, Detroit Rams. So it is what it is. But
who won?
LA won.
Okay.
She's like, missed it. Oh man, okay. Come on, computer. I'm trying to charge this computer.
Look, we literally so it was me and Adam and Ugo here, and you know, I had like a little dinner and whatnot, and I had DVR'd the whole show, and it's like, okay, we don't have to worry about watching the game because I DVR'd the thing or whatever. And we literally finished eating, had like a couple of bottles of wine, and then we came in here and watched the halftime show, and then that was it. That was the rest of the night. I didn't watch anything else.
So fuck all this. Oh man, Camille, I'm sorry. Like you gonna see me like struggling today. Like the camera's right here. I got to put my computer right here so I can see Dewan and Jerrell. Like I'm all over the place right now.
Can I just say, I don't know what the hell is going on in the universe, but like the chakras are not lining up. The planets are all out of whack because this day,
it's been so good.
It was horrible for you.
Oh, that girl was great. I woke up feeling great. Let me tell you.
Okay.
It was one of those mornings when you wake up and you like play your gospel music, you play your Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
You know, I never knew I could be so happy. Girl, I was loved. I got out of bed just on the right note. And
that's a good day then.
Same
I had this
all day.
I slept horrible. I had this really weird dream that that somehow I had been kidnapped and then fell in love with my kidnapper, who was like this Mexican drug lord. And then I tried to get away and I had to like scam my way out of the compound to get away, but he kind of knew how to track me. So I was like fearing it was like from last night.
Girl, that's a lot. What you eat last night?
Sloppy Joe's.
See,
what it was.
Yep. That's why you got that sloppy ass dream.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's sloppy ass dream.
Yup.
I woke up tired. I woke up tired from like running all in my dreams and shit, and like the whole day was just like boo-boo. My work computer crashed. I stubbed my toe.
Ooh. Wait, which toe? The pinky one?
Like, the little one, right?
Ooh, the pinky. That's the worst.
It's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you know how to move your feet around the things, but somehow these legs be catching you. Like,
and you be mad. It's like you're instantly mad.
Yeah.
Like it hurts and you're just pissed.
Well, because it's like you don't know how to walk. It's like, wait a minute, how? I'm just moving one foot in front of the other.
It's like how I hit this big ass couch.
Been here for all these years. I ain't never had a problem. And now all of a sudden I'm uncoordinated. Come on now.
The worst.
It was a day. It was a day. Maybe it was just me. I'm sorry.
I don't know, but clearly I'm running on 7% battery somehow, some way. I don't know what the hell happened, but
well, it looks like it's gonna be a short episode.
Girl, right?
So trying to hang in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but what else is on the list? Shit, I'm all this.
Speaking of,
The Nope
go ahead.
trailer.
yeah, I was about to say the Nope trailer.
Nope trailer.
Yeah.
This is how fucking genius Jordan Peele is to me. Like, he knows the first words out of our mouth about some scary shit is gonna be nope, and so he named a damn movie Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, this Negro, you
Yeah.
getting all my money.
I will have to say this. First of all, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna watch it.
Oh,
but I
100.
already have this feeling that the trailer is gonna let me down, like M. Night Shyamalan let me down. Because you know, like I hope not too. But like the trailer was great, but I really have no idea where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
And I truly hope it goes somewhere, because normally you see some of his trailers and you get an inkling of what might be happening.
Yeah.
All I know is there's some fucking aliens. That's all I fucking know. And black people and aliens, nope. You know?
Nope.
So I'm like, please make this like something
aliens.
that's like funny, thriller type thing, you know? Because otherwise niggas gonna be like, I would never. Because they already talking about black people and damn horse farms. So you know niggas don't be doing no damn horses. So I'm like, girl, it's already on a note on a page that most black people gonna be like, nope.
This is a note for me, dog. Glover shit. You know that.
But no, I'm gonna go see it though. The trailer was dope. Like, just even the way it was just laid out, and it was just like, nope, big on the screen. I was like, okay.
The way it came down to, I was like, oh, bitch.
I think what I appreciate the most about like the way that Jordan Peele promos his projects is that he gives you just enough to be intrigued and to pique your curiosity without giving the whole story away. Like, in my opinion, that's what a trailer is supposed to be. Like,
100%.
if your trailer is given, like, there are trailers. If you go to the movie theater and you watch those previews and they're like 5 minutes long, it's like, well, I'm not watching a movie.
I already know the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the point? I'm not paying $30 for something I just saw for free for this movie. You know, so like, what I love that he does that. Like, with every single one of his films, he's done this really great job of just like teasing you just enough that you're really curious, like, well, what is this going to be? And even with the way that his films, like, I feel like he's a little bit more deft at like curating the story more so than M. Night Shyamalan, because I feel like M. Night Shyamalan hits you on the head with like, oh, there's going to be a twist at the end, you know, whereas with Jordan, it's not always at the end that the twist comes, but there is definitely something that's like, he plays with your expectations and takes it a whole different level and then gives you layers underneath that, you know, like social commentary,
100%.
You know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. He's like how y'all were talking about like movies that make you think and stuff like that. That's Jordan Peele style. And I like that about him, because I know that's what to expect when it comes to one of his movies.
And it's mixed with like the cultural piece too. Like,
absolutely.
He gets us.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he leans all the way into it too. Like, he's just not like, oh, sprinkle it here, sprinkle it. He's like, no, this is for black people. If white people just happen to like this shit too, cool. Like, it's another FUBU moment, you know? Where it's just like, no, I made this specifically for us, the way we talk, the way we act, the way we, whatever it may be. And so I'm glad he got Kiki, because it feels like us again, you know? So we'll
What
see.
is your favorite Jordan Peele movie?
I mean, he only had 2, right?
Right.
I like the first one better than
I like Get Out.
I like Get Out. I like Get Out better as a whole movie. But there's parts of Us that was dope to me, though.
Yeah, I would say still Get Out was my favorite, because I was just like, I was still so much more shook, you know? And I think just because like that was his first one too. And I just remember watching for the first time and be like, wait, what the fuck? Just not expecting it. And I think because of when Us came out, like, now knowing who Jordan Peele is as a director, you know, I'm like, okay, I wasn't surprised at certain things when it came to Us. If that makes sense.
Oh wait, and didn't he do?
He did the Candyman too.
Yeah,
he did Candyman.
I still haven't watched that.
Yeah,
Candyman was good.
Check that out.
It was really good.
Really good.
It's really good.
I'll watch it just because of Yaya, but I don't know why I haven't watched it yet.
It's good.
It's not a retelling of the Candyman story, and it's not like it's not like a fast forward, like a continuation. It's almost like an anthology.
Okay.
So it's almost like, you know, there is the lore of Candyman, but it's a whole other kind of story with a whole other kind of subtext. So yeah,
it's good. It's good.
It's really good.
Honestly, I would say that would be my second one, would be Candyman. Because
and I feel like he produced that one. He didn't direct that one, right? I feel like he didn't direct it.
He was involved. That's
all.
He
was involved. The name was in my
his studio.
Right.
It was like blue monkey paw.
Right. They made sure to put his name on it.
Okay.
Look, he got them checks. That's all that counts.
I think it was a studio that produced it or something like that.
I was a big fan of Us. And what sold it for me and what took that one over the top is when the family killed the white family. I was like, well, this is Black History Month, so I'm allowed to say that.
You're right. You're allowed to say it outside this month too, boo. Don't worry about it.
You don't think I do?
First of all, we're talking about a movie, so
exactly.
But that was hilarious. That whole scene
was funny.
Was just, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect because in my mind, it's like, again, this notion of he gets us, you know, especially for somebody who
feelings.
and it's nice to see that actually being played out in a movie instead of like in your head, you know, because like you're like, oh yeah, if that was me, I would have done whatever, you know.
Yeah, no, he gets it, and I just like he's telling original stories right now. Like there's very few big movies that are telling original stories, and they're giving him the funds to tell original stories.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, to come out in the middle of this summer, nope, in like July, like prime real estate time. They're trusting him, which is awesome. So community, we need to make sure he continue to get these opportunities. So let's spend our little coin. And even if we don't like it, that's okay. We got to drop these dollars for our community.
I also would love to see, just outside of Jordan Peele, although within the context of Jordan Peele's movies, I would love to see a little bit more diversity in terms of like, you know, sexual identity and things like that. Although I know that that's not really his ministry and that's okay. But I would love to see that. And I'm just surprised that, you know, we had some really great like LGBT Black focused movies like Moonlight, etc. that I was hoping that we would have more. Yeah, you know, but it just we haven't. And you know, I mean, obviously there was the shutdown of all the movie studios and just life with COVID and whatnot. But I would just love to see more stories like that because like Moonlight was so refreshing.
Moonlight was good.
It's kind of like the Pride version of Boys in the Hood. Do you know what I mean? Like John Singleton really giving you a raw portrayal of life in South Central LA. And this was a real portrayal of, you know, coming up Black and, you know, and like the American South and, you know, navigating those waters of, you know, like the intersectionality of being Black and queer and what that looks like and what that experience is. And it felt very real.
I was about to say that movie felt real. Like it was bizarre. Like it really drummed up a lot of that feeling, that angst, that insecurity, that love, that excitement, you know, and all around. Yeah. And they lit Black people up very well in that movie.
That part.
Very well.
That part.
So yeah, but yeah, there really hasn't been a lot more, at least on that scale, that has gotten like the wide release and things like that.
I'm curious to see what Issa Rae's going to be getting into, you know, like in terms
rap
of
shit.
Like...
I'm actually going to an evening with this event called An Evening with Issa Rae. She's going to be doing like a little kind of like a live kind of sit down Q&A out here in Seattle in April. Okay. So I just got tickets to that. So yeah.
Who's hosting it?
I'm not sure who's hosting it. I don't think they announced that part yet, but yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, tell her we said, hey, girl.
Yes. And, you know, I know this comes out on Monday, but tomorrow a bitch will be seeing Jasmine Sullivan. And let me tell you, bitch, girl,
I knew
My tambourine came today. I look. I will be in the front with my tambourine, bitch. Look, let me tell you. Look, they better let me in with this damn tambourine, bitch. I already told her. Yeah.
Because on this motels,
girl.
You know when you get that rock, She is just singing her face off. She wrote the shit out these songs. I'm like, Jasmine, like, you in my top 3 right now, Jasmine. Girl, you don't move on up.
Girl, she is. Girl, I can't wait. I'm telling you. Look, and then we got the floor. We got floor tickets, general admission. Yeah. So like, I will wait outside for 2 hours and be the front end line to make sure that I am at that stage.
I know that's right.
Right there in her face. And I'm wearing a bright yellow shirt, polka dotted yellow shirt, so she don't see my ass.
You don't see me.
Look. Girl.
That roster song.
Oh,
roster is so well written. And I don't know why no one has ever thought to write it that way. Mm-hmm. But it made me want to write it. I was like, why haven't I written this? This song is so fucking fly. It's so fucking real. Oh yeah, Jasmine, you did it again. And I'm just glad that people are finally giving her flowers to make her want to make music quicker. Because yes, we had the interludes, but it was a good another 5-6 songs. And usually she take like 5 years to come out with albums. Yeah. So for her to be like inspired to work and make more, let's continue to support her because we need more. We need more because
she said she wasn't gonna do that no more. She was like, I'm not gonna do those long hiatus like that no more.
She better not.
Which I was like, okay.
Because she in her prime right now. Her voice is just so good.
You know what, Carell? I want to come out there for that music festival in Philly.
I know. And
I want to come out, like, that's gonna be really fucking dope.
Yeah. That's a good lineup. I mean,
that's a really good lineup.
Mary with the Roots. The Roots are gonna be playing Mary songs.
Girl,
are you kidding me? And then Jasmine and I can't remember. I can't pull it up. There's so
Summer
many
Walker
people.
Is on there.
Summer Walker. Nelson Summer. Hold on, I'm gonna look this shit right up because it was like the whole poster. I was like, damn. But I think the crazy thing is, I think that is Philly Pride weekend too. So I'm like, damn, there's just too much going on.
Oh, really? Oh, damn it.
Let's see here. So Mary J. Blige, Summer Walker, WizKid. Ooh. That's the song of the last year for me. SWV.
Wait, is that the Essence? WizKid, he sings Essence with Tim.
Yes.
Oh, I love that song.
Yep. That's a bop. Keisha Cole, Black Thought, Rick Ross, Benny the Butcher. I like Benny the Butcher. Music Soul Child, who just did the little verses. Kirk Franklin. I mean, shit. See, I've been cussing when I say the gospel oscars. I need to stop. Yebba.
Look, we all saw that. Look,
Yebba too, bitch. Of course, Yebba gonna be in there. Look,
Pierre Wack, Chief Keef, Mickey Guyton. They even got Mickey Guyton. They said we're gonna get all these black people and bring on the black girl from the country world. Come on now.
I love that.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on here.
What weekend is that?
June 4th and 5th. The Roots Picnic.
Damn, bitch. That is Philly Pride weekend. Because Philly Pride is June 3rd through the 5th.
See, but I mean, I might have to double dutch and.
I may say, now we really should go because it's gonna be a whole fucking mess, bitch.
Let's go. All DeJuan gotta do is hop on that train.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna be in Philly this weekend.
Oh, are you really?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on down this weekend?
One of Adam's friends is heading up there for the first time, and Adam's never been, and it's like literally a hop, skip, and a jump away. So
exactly.
I'm just gonna rent a car and drive up there for the day, and
there we go.
I gotta find a little boutique hotel or something.
Just a little something.
But
She's at a little boutique, a little, a little Auntie Char hotel.
Well, she ain't staying in no Hyatt, that's for sure.
Ooh. I know that's right. Let's see. I'm still all disc about it. Damn, we're 43 minutes in. Okay, you know what? Let's take a quick little tea break.
Take a break.
We interrupt this episode for very important information.
That's right. You've been asking for it for a long time, and we have heard you.
Yep, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally here.
Yo,
Aunties got
merch. Hey, that's right. You know what? We got tees, we got long tees, we got sweatshirts, we got fanny packs, there's just a whole gamut of stuff out there. So go and check that out.
We are so appreciative of your love and support, and we are so excited to launch it. Girl, where can we find this at?
Ma'am, they can head right over to minorityReport.com to check out the selection.
That's right. That's MINORITEA report.com.
Woo! I'm about to go get me some myself. All right, ladies. Let me see here. Let me get this up here. What time is it?
Woo.
Ask
your All right. Does someone want to read it? Because I'm trying to get my life together.
Yeah, I can read it.
Go for it, boo.
It says, "Hey, aunties, my partner and I have been together for 8 years, and we love each other very much. We recently got an incredible job offer across the country that's impossible to refuse. It would be great for his career. I love him deeply, and I support him following his dream to pursue this opportunity, but I'm not willing to move. I moved to this state to set roots, and I know that if I move, I'll end up resenting it or my partner in the end. Is our relationship over?"
Ooh. And I saw this one come through. I was like, Corey, did you write this?
Girl, you know she loves to move.
She sure do. She sure do. So I was like, woo. I was like, woo. If I didn't know better. And that's hard. Like, I mean, I've moved once for Corey, and now he's moving twice now for me. And luckily, thus far, we've both been willing to move, A, then B, been able to figure out how to make it work career-wise. Because I, like, especially, like, when I left Chicago, and he had got the job, like, off, especially then I was a little younger, so I got a lot more of my feelings than, because I was like, oh, you leaving me and this and that. But, like, the older I've gotten, I realized there's just certain opportunities that if you don't take them, they might not come up again. And I understand that now, and I'm glad he maybe saw, like, because obviously the age difference, that he probably saw, okay, Carell's just a little young, but I'm willing to work it out and do this long distance thing, and it worked out, et cetera, et cetera. But it would be tough if either he or I were in a situation where we didn't want to move, and you're in this relationship. So I don't know. Like, it sounds like you kind of almost want it to be over because you're throwing it out there. My advice is, like, just look at the situation. If it's truly an awesome situation, at least for me, I'm going to be happy for my husband. I'm going to be excited for him and try to find a way to make it work, even if it's him moving up there before I'm even able to do so, and then eventually getting there. If it's a good situation for him, it's going to be a good situation for the both of you. And I get it being in love with certain areas that you live in, because I loved Chicago. I did not want to leave Chicago, but then ended up falling in love with Dallas, and then didn't want to leave Dallas and came to Atlanta. Definitely don't want to leave Atlanta, but here's Philly coming. And you just never know what's on the other side, that you might end up getting something more than you can ever envision. So if you want it to be over, let it be over. But I feel like it might be you're in your emotions right now, and give yourself a second. And it's okay to feel that way, but give yourself a moment, be like, okay, you know what? I want my spouse to succeed, or my boyfriend to succeed. How can I aid that? Even if it's maybe right now I'm compromising where I'm at and things like that.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a real tough one, because there's not a lot of, we don't have any context in terms of, like, you know, what did they both do professionally?
Right.
Because it might be a great opportunity for, you know, for your partner, but then it may not be a great opportunity for your career, you know. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, like moving and changing careers are one of the top two reasons, you know, for stress that results in couples breaking up. So I get this notion of saying like, wow, you know, is our relationship over? I'm not reading into it that they want it to be they want the relationship to be over, which is why I think they're asking the question, because it doesn't give me the sense that they're trying to give an excuse to say, you know, it's me or the highway. But it's a very valid question, you know, like if, you know, you two made a commitment in terms of, you know, where you want to live and how you want to, you know, establish your lives, and there's a vision that's involved, and you've been there together for 8 years, so that's a pretty long time to be with somebody.
Sure is.
I think at the end of the day, what I would say is, you know, if the love that you have is strong, you two will figure out the right thing for you. You know, there's a lot of things to weigh in the balance that a lot of people aren't built for, but maybe you're built for, you know. So for example, maybe this becomes a long distance relationship for a short period of time where, you know, he goes out there to, I'm assuming it's a he, I don't oh yeah, he goes out there and to wherever there is, and, you know, sets up, you know, his life there or his career there, and you stay where you are, and, you know, you all come to some kind of agreement in terms of how you will spend time with one another. And for a lot of us, not, again, we don't know what your work situation is, a lot of us have a lot more flexibility, you know, due to COVID now, because companies are allowing people to, you know, work remotely or flex their time or whatever. And so, you know, what I would just say is, you know, I would say two things. One, this is a yes and situation, meaning, yes, your relationship could be over, and yes, you can figure it out if you want to figure it out. And maybe it might take some compromise, you know, like you were saying, Carell. You know, but if you want to figure it out, then I think you two can figure out the right kind of agreement that works for the context of your relationship. What do you think?
I agree with both of you. You know, if you want it to be over, it will be over. But, you know, after 8 years, and it sounds like you don't want it to be over, like, you're going to have to do what it takes. It's going to probably be more work than what you've had to do for your relationship over the last 8 years. But if you've been together for 8 years, you've been through some things. Y'all done had some fights. Y'all done had some heated moments, etc. So at this point, it's about the communication and what your needs and wants are, which are two different things. Okay, so you have to be clear on that, and you have to be honest with your needs and your wants. Okay, because your needs are going to be something that's going to it's going to be what's going to keep you in the relationship. Okay, so don't be selfish and be like, well, I need this and I need this, when you really don't need that. Be specific on what your needs are to be able to possibly move, or your needs are to be in a long distance relationship, or whatever your relationship may look like, you know, if you choose to stay in it and support your partner as he, you know, takes his journey as well too. But again, after 8 years, I think you have to, at this point, you know, that relationships are work, and this is just part of work of relationship. You know, you're going to have these hard conversations. You're going to have to make these compromising decisions, and it may be that you may not be getting out of it what you ideally want, but a relationship is not always 50-50. Sometimes it's 60-40, sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it's a little upset. Maybe you have to give up more than the other person, but you have those conversations and figure out, well, if you're giving up more here, how is he helping offset that, you know, that low percentage of where you feel like your needs aren't getting met? And that's why I go back to understanding your needs and your wants, because if he can make sure that your needs are met, well, then you are going to feel fine whatever you decide to do to make this relationship work with this, without having to necessarily move. And I agree completely with Jawan. Maybe it could just be, guess what? Maybe he's there for a year just to get that shit on the resume, to be able to say, I can do X, Y, Z, so I can open more doors. Don't look at it like this is how it's going to be forever.
Exactly.
If you communicate and talk about it, it could be something where, hey, maybe this is something we do for 2 years, and we see each other every other weekend, or whatever the case is. Make a plan, and execute it.
And I appreciate this person's like vulnerability and self-reflection. This notion of like when they said, I know that if I move, I'll end up resenting it, and that's a very real statement. And a lot of people don't even have the foresight to recognize that, they might be putting themselves in a situation that, they might not be comfortable with or whatever, or they might feel adversely about. So this just goes to show that you put a lot of thought into this situation. But also I would challenge you in your thinking, like, again, if part of the notion of if you want it to work, you'll make it work. I would challenge you in your thinking about, this notion of, will you end up resenting it? Because the fact that it gives you the opportunity to actually change that mentality around, right? And figure out how you can make this an advantage for you and for your relationship. So and make no mistake, whatever you decide to do in this situation, because this is a tough situation, it's going to require some work. It's going to require some work for both of you. And so it's not going to be easy no matter what decision you decide to make. But I think at the end of the day, kind of like the aunties were saying, if you just approach it with like with a sense of communication and really, talk it through and really decide, like, are you putting your own needs over the value and the benefit of the relationship? And if you are, and that's what you need to do in this moment, that's okay. Because again, everybody's built different. But if you're wondering, should you put your needs over the needs of your relationship, then that's something that you should discuss together.
And part of the roots, part two of it, to like really identify when you say I want to establish roots, what does that mean? Because if it's with your partner, you're moving with your partner.
Yes.
And that's something that, like, even with this opportunity that came up just now for me, I thought Atlanta was it because I wanted to establish roots and be in a city more than 5 years and things like that, just because I haven't done that since I've left college. But what I'm finding, especially with Corey, is like, it's been cool to have this adventure and go on these journeys in new cities with him. Like, he is like my roots now. And so wherever he's at, I'm rooted, if that makes sense. So it's just like, as bittersweet as it is to leave the cities, because there's a familiarity with the city, there's friends, there's your favorite restaurants, there's whatever it may be. Ultimately, you have a situation where it seems the relationship is working for the most part. If you're together for 8 years, that wherever you're going to be, yes, it might not be your ideal city in that moment, but you're still with your partner, and that's the root foundation that you'll still need and that you'll still have. So maybe even think of it that way, because, like, luckily we've been able, at least from my experience, we've been able to move to cities that I would want to potentially live in. Maybe Dallas wasn't like my ideal city, but once you get there, you find new friends, you find a new normal, you find a new system and things like that. So kind of think of it that way. Yes, it might not be your ideal, but like Jerrell said, 2 years, maybe we're doing long distance, or maybe you're just there for 2 years to help the career long term, and kind of think of from like a long term lens that, okay, if I loved it. Like, the one thing my dad told me too, he's like, because I was like, oh, I love Atlanta. Like, I don't want to leave, da 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 da. He's like, Carell, you will find a way ultimately to get what you need. He's like, you've always been good about that. If you want to get back to Atlanta, you could get back to Atlanta. And so once you kind of think of that way, that it might not be a permanent situation, that you can always get to wherever you thought was where you're going to establish roots. You might be uncomfortable for a couple of years, and if it's worth it for your relationship, I would say move. But if you're a stickler and saying, I just can't do it, then okay, that's fine. That's your decision. But have that conversation with your partner and figure out if that means it's the end of the road or it's just long distance, open relationship, whatever that looks like, to ensure that you're both getting what you need out of it.
And I would also encourage to while you're like thinking about this too, to also like just put yourself in your partner's shoes and see and ask yourself, if the roles were reversed, what kind of support or what kind of thought would you hope that your partner would give you in return? And ask yourself, am I at least doing that? Like, am I giving what I would have at least wanted if the roles were reversed? Because that will let you know exactly how selfish or how fair you're actually being. Because it's very easy to be caught up in your feelings and like, well, this is how I feel, this is how I feel, and you not realizing, well, guess what? If the roles reversed, you wouldn't want your partner to act how you are acting in this moment. So I would say think about that too, just a little bit.
Is there a place, like, just piggybacking off this, is there a place in the United States that like if your partner got like a job in like
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Like, right. I've been there.
I mean, I got friends in Tulsa, so I could manage in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I visited once when I lived in Dallas because my roommate lived there, and I was like, okay, this is cute for now. For the day, the weekend that I'm here, couldn't live here. Thank you.
What if it's like Alabama City, Montana? That's got like 300 people, and they all white. No gay community at all.
Like, actually, as much as I say no, as much as I probably would, and it would probably just be like, well, first of all, he would have to be making a lot more, and it would have to be well worth it for me to go all the way there. Yeah. But I would also make a game out of it and just be like, let's see how many white people I can make uncomfortable. You know, that would be
the news.
Girl, that Montana, you end up in some little creek that would never see Jerrell again.
She'll be like, I am the only gay in this village.
And it's funny. This is conversations Corey and I have had of, okay, if I got an offer to go XYZ or you got an offer to go XYZ, where are we not going? And luckily, we've been fairly on the same page. Like, we both want to be in a predominantly big area, like some kind of city life. The only area that I have not agreed to yet that Corey's all about, and he always wants to, and if I said tomorrow, fuck Philly, we going here, he would go, is Fort Lauderdale. I'm not ready for the Fort Lauderdale life, but he's always ever since I met him, I've known it, the decade we've been together, that...
I've never been. What's the Fort Lauderdale life like?
You never been to Fort Lauderdale?
I mean, so I've been to Fort Lauderdale, but I have not, because I was there last year for that wedding.
Yeah.
But I've never like gotten to truly experience Fort Lauderdale. Because we were still in the pandemic, we still hadn't had a vaccine. So like, you know, luckily it was my good Judy. I known her for 17 years, so I was like, all right, I'll risk it for you, girl.
Right.
But I mean, like, I was masked up. We ain't doing shit. I ain't see nothing. So I guess
I love it there, honestly. But I'm at the point where I still want to vacate there and maybe not live there quite yet.
Yeah.
And because honestly, Fort Lauderdale and Wilton Manor and all that, it's actually smaller than people think. Yes, you have Miami down the road and things like that, but it's still a smaller area than I want to live in right now.
They be living their best life because Brandon.
Oh yeah,
Brandon Instagram star. I'd be like, girl.
It's a blast for sure. But I'd rather visit still right now than to live there full time. And it's not to say that I wouldn't ever do it, because I get the charm of it for sure. But I think that's one of the parts where the age difference for Corey and I comes into play. Sometimes he's getting into that mind frame of just like, let's slow it down a little bit. You know, I love the beach. Let's do the beach life. And it's a highly gay area, so that part's awesome. But I'm just not quite all the way there yet. But I could see one day doing it, but not in the next 5 years or so. But if it was an awesome opportunity for him, and I was still able to have my career going, it would be a conversation then. And it wouldn't be just like, I'm done with this relationship. I don't care how long that's not fair to the relationship. It's not fair to him. So to kind of hear this question is like, even though I might feel that way, I owe it to my partner. At least I feel like I owe it to him to at least hear him out, hear the opportunity out, and then weigh our options. And I don't want to get in the way. Ultimately, in Corey's like, I don't want to get in the way of his happiness and his opportunities and his success. Period. For me, even if that means Carell has to compromise a little bit in certain situations. Ultimately, I think his success is going to be our success and vice versa. So that's kind of how I kind of think in things.
I do feel like going back to the Ask Yo Auntie question, and I know we spent a lot of time on it, and but I feel like but I do feel like there's three things for strong things for consideration. One, it's the quality of the relationship. That's a conversation that needs to be had. I think the second one is the quality of the financial arrangement, with the new job opportunity that's down there, because that is that has a significant weight on the quality of the relationship. And then I think the other thing is the quality of life of the area that you're moving into, because look, we've all been in this pandemic life where we've been on top of our partners, and not in a sexual way, but like from a but from like a like, damn, I see you everywhere, I can't even escape kind of way, especially over the course of the winter for those of us that are a little bit up north. So like imagine compounding that experience with not having the kind of like Fort Lauderdale, or a place that is very metropolitan or cosmopolitan, that has amenities and things that can give you something to do outside of the house. So you can look, we all know that the older you get, sometimes the harder it can be to make new quality friends, and build a network around you. And so, those are just three things that, that you'll have to weigh out, and I know how easy it is to like say, oh, well, the fourth thing is my feelings and what I want, and da 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 da. But like when you put those other three things in perspective, right? Your relationship, the financial situation that you'll be going into, because if you can't find a job going out there, then what kind of stress is that and strain is that going to put on the relationship? That's something to be considered. And then what is the quality of life, that you can manage, right? Not what you prefer, but what you can manage. And will that quality of life give you the opportunity to build, network and friends and all that kind of stuff? So it's a lot to consider.
Well, continue to send your Ask Your Aunties to aya@minorietyreport.com or DM us. And one topic we actually do want to put out there real quick for an upcoming series of conversations is one area that we realized we haven't really shared too much on is just like our professional lives. Like we do the damn thing, So if there's any questions, especially like Dewan's in HR, so if there's just even questions that you're like, I'm going through this situation, what's the best way professionally to approach it, or whatever it may be, send us some of those questions as well, because we really want to kind of dig into that as well, just to, especially as people of color in the corporate world and things like that, it could be a little challenging at times, but how to overcome that and any tricks up our sleeves that we've kind of utilized in our careers. So send those in as well, and we'll kind of start to navigate those conversations here in the coming weeks.
One of the things, just to piggyback on that, is just the realization that particularly as Black people, we may have professionals in our family, some don't. And when I say professionals, they're in corporate, corporate world. So if you are in corporate world, you are not in a specialized profession where you had to go to a college to get a specialized degree, like being a lawyer, being a doctor, or whatever. But you're in a corporate profession. Navigating those waters when it comes to job hunting, growing your career within the company that you're in, navigating your own financial well-being and whatnot, and being able to negotiate for what you need and being able to make those kind of moves. A lot of us don't have people within our family who can be sponsors and get us into the boardrooms and whatnot, and then B, to be able to bounce our questions off of when you run into a situation that's more like office related. So this is definitely an area that your aunties can play an auntie role in, and be and be a support system, and you can bounce some of those questions off of us. It doesn't have to be too deep, and it doesn't have to be messy. It can be if
We
you
like
want.
those too.
We like them too. But if you do just want some advice on how do I go about doing this, or you're entering the job market, and you're trying to change careers, or you're just trying to bet on yourself and trying to decide if you want to go out on your own or kind of do your own thing. Between the three of us, we've had quite a bit of experience in a lot of different areas, and we'd be happy to share that with you.
Absolutely. So a couple rapid fire things. I know we're getting late in the episode. Before Drag Race, Kanye acting a damn fool still. It's crazy because it's weird to see some of his fan base kind of hype him on and egg him on. But what he's doing on social media the last week or two is kind of dangerous, because it's stalking your ex and your ex-wife and things like that. Like, you're not together, and to go on social media to kind of like endanger her new boyfriend or whatever they are, that's not cute. Like,
Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea what happened. I don't.
He's been posting like on Instagram like all weekend. He's finally deleted a lot of it because Kim texted him, and he posted that text on Instagram saying, "You're literally endangering us and Pete." And so he finally took it down, and some people behind the scenes must have kind of got to him too, because the next post ended up almost kind of being a little PR-ish. That I'm still growing as a person, and this. It's like, okay, I get it, but this is turning into a habitual nature, and as much as like it's turning very Donald Trumpish, honestly. And so it's just like, as a black community, as much smoke as we gave Donald Trump, we need to start giving Kanye, because it's not cute, it's not grown up, it's not anything, and it's just showing that he's still having some mental health issues that we need to help him out and point him in the right direction, instead of enabling this behavior by saying, "Oh, ha, ha, cute. No, it's not cute. It's not cute at all. Yeah. So,
I just don't like the idea, and I don't know. This is one I don't really like
Kanye.
Twitter.
Yeah, neither do I.
Well, I didn't say that, but
I did.
But I was just gonna say, like, like, people get really, because Twitter is just focused on like whatever your thoughts are or whatever, and it's so like readily accessible, and I don't know, I just like, why air your dirty laundry out there like that? Like, that's personal, private, and like what are millions of people who aren't in your relationship, who aren't behind those that gate, behind the gated community doors, what are they going to do, and what benefit is this providing you?
None.
Like, or I mean, maybe because he's getting a whole people that's gassing him up and whatnot, which is not, to your point, Carell, it's not healthy.
No.
Like for him to be like, basically what he's doing is he's like trashing Pete Davidson. He's complaining that his wife won't let him see his kids, and with birthday parties and blah 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 and all, but it's all like through Twitter, instead of just like, don't you have lawyers? Aren't there professional people that are already around you? Don't you already have a multi-billion-dollar organization with a whole bunch of people that can help you navigate these waters? That you got to go to Twitter?
And it's very childish. Like, it's like what a child would do, because you're not getting your way. So you're trying to find any kind of method to have people like, yeah, I agree with Kanye, and make yourself feel better. But no, it's making you look like a bigger jackass. And it's stalking, and it's ridiculous, and it's not healthy, and it's dangerous. And quite frankly, I hope your ass gets arrested after a certain point, because if something does happen to them, you're fanning those flames, So... And so I just feel like us as a black community, we need to start saying it. Like, I know some people are saying it, but there's still a lot of us saying, well, it's Kanye, we like his music and shit like that. No. This is not cool.
I mean, you might have liked his old stuff, but
we like from like 2000 to like 2012.
Right, exactly.
And then
almost anything after good music was like,
Life of Pablo was like maybe the last one. And then Jerrell, I'm interested to see what your thoughts are on this Olympic Russian skater, like who the 15-year-old skater that's tested positive for doping, but is still allowed to skate in the Olympics because I don't know. I don't know how.
But here's the funny thing about it though, like they can't compete under Russia because of a doping scandal. And here we are, a Russian figure skating with the controversy of having, I think it was 3 different banned heart medications or drugs in her system. Yep. Like 3. Yeah. Like the country was already like
sound very Maria Sharapova to me.
It's very frustrating. I will say this. The girl is fucking talented.
That's a sad part.
And that's the sad part, because when I was watching the team, like competition, when they do like the free skate, like the team, whatever, that girl can skate. Her individual free skate, the quads that she does, she's
like so like flexible, and her lines are like incredible.
It's the spins to me. Like she just looks very, very graceful.
Yep.
But you know what? Like Sha'Carri said, though, she couldn't because of marijuana.
Yep.
But here's the thing, though. And this is where people are like, well, what's the difference? It was the U.S. Olympic team that said that Sha'Carri could not race.
Right.
So it wasn't the Olympic Committee. It was the U.S. Olympic
IOC,
Committee.
Yeah.
Right. So that is where that big difference is.
Yeah.
And obviously ROC don't give a fuck because they are, because of the doping scandal already, because of Russia. So they don't care about doping. They don't care about you breaking the rules.
Someone's in bed with Russia, A. And then part B, I almost feel like this is another Russia tactic to kind of distract us, because there's all this crazy shit going on with Russia and Ukraine. Mm-hmm. So they're very good at finding ways to distract the narrative to do what they need to do crazily. So I don't know. It's wild though. And if I was a skater, if I was a skater in the Olympics,
I would be pissed.
I would be livid.
Absolutely pissed. Absolutely pissed.
So
yeah.
And honestly, it's like the integrity of the Olympics. It's like it doesn't matter anymore. It's like they just letting everybody. So shit, I might as well do it too. So
and that's the part that just really upsets me is. Clear there's no line. It's who knows who, and it's do they like you or not.
Yeah.
So
and then another sports moment, we saw Djokovic have the interview with the BBC saying that he's doubling down. He's not wanting to get vaccinated, and he knows that it might interfere with the rest of the Grand Slams and tournaments. And and here's the thing. At the end of the day, you're grown up, and that's your decision. That's your decision. Cool. Mm-hmm. It just sucks because it shows you've shown a habitual nature of how reckless you could be. Though we saw you have COVID, and you're in there with photographers and interviewers and things like that. So that's the part that really bothers me. That's like, okay, you make your decision that you don't want to get vaccinated, but if you don't get vaccinated and you get this disease, and you still gonna put yourself out there with people to get it from you. No, that's not cool.
Yeah.
So
no,
it's what it is. Bye, girl.
He can kick rocks.
Yeah, honestly, like if he's gonna miss the rest of the year. Too bad. There's so many other people that I would love to see play and watch play anyway. So dog, keep it coming, baby. Keep it coming. We're going for 24.
That's right, with them thighs. And then Drag Race, episode 6. So we have the US version, and then Jerrell, did you watch the UK versus World?
I only watched the first 2 episodes, so I'm not caught up. I didn't watch this week.
So we'll say that one again then. So episode 6, what'd you think about this episode, and who went home?
I didn't care for the episode.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the episode one bit. I mean, I'm glad Maddie Morphus is gone. Like it was time. It was time. But I did watch the Untucked, and there was some cute things. I was like, "Ooh, what was this like mirror gown that you had, or like
or
what was
what
these
you
like little
packing?
pack?"
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, I was like, I would have been
I was
interested
like,
to see what some of these other looks would
like
have been
that
like.
big, like fluffy one that he had. I was like, bitch,
Yeah,
that's fucking gorgeous. Why didn't you wear that
yeah,
shit?
yeah. But I mean, I was just like, girl, you should have known, bitch. It looked like someone's grandma's quilt from the fucking 90s. Like everyone know, you know what blanket I'm talking about too, but everybody didn't have that blanket. And I was just like, girl, that's literally what you made.
You know,
So
he realized he might have just been a little too straight.
just a
a
little
little too
too.
straight.
Just but
I feel like Maddie could have, if Maddie had a little bit more stage presence, because I feel like every time he walks out on the stage, it's like it's like he doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that's an unfair statement, because not everybody,
I think he doesn't know how to be there. He doesn't know how to be there, I think. Because even his walk looks very like, I don't know how to walk in these heels. Like,
yeah.
I just feel like his personality is maybe more introverted, and he just does not know how to fake it yet. Because it's a TV show at the end of the day. Like, you got to just fake it till you make it.
Well, I think what you said, the first part of that sentence, it's a TV show. And this is, although this is a competition, what the producers want, what Rue wants, what the network wants is big moments.
Yeah.
They want moments, whether you're crying, whether you're laughing, whether you're telling jokes, whatever. They want people to be entertained. And like when I see Maddie, I yawn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? True. Like, it's just, there's just nothing dynamic. And this is not a dig on his drag. I can do that separately. but there's nothing really dynamic that he's bringing to the table. And it's interesting because I think a lot of the queens, and I don't know this because I haven't been part of the experience, but I feel like a lot of the queens go into this thinking this is a competition.
Right.
And it is a competition format, but this is the thing that you're really competing for is for airtime.
Period.
And if you go into like the season, whatever season you get picked for, whatever, with that in mind, knowing that, you know, I'm going to spend time getting to know the other girls. I'm going to be sharing a bunch of secrets. I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to try to be the villain. Like, if you go in there with that mindset, that's where you really get you get the best out of the experience. It's not the challenges. And yeah, you know, there's some money, but the reality of it is, okay, you get $100,000, whoop-de-doo. So after taxes, that's roughly about $55,000 or whatever. You probably didn't spend a good $20,000 on your drag just to get there, right? And you're gone for, I don't know, 2 months or something like that. So you got rent waiting for you back home that you got to take care of. So at the end of the day,
to go to In and Out when you get home.
Right, exactly. So I get the crown and the prestige or whatever, but like, it's almost better to go into this thinking, I'm just going to try to get as much airtime, and I'm going to do whatever feels natural to me in order to do that.
Yes.
So that when you come out of it, you can get them bookings, because that's where, when you do the touring and the bookings and you get those appearance fees, that's where the coins come in.
Period.
You know, you get you a catchphrase like our girl Mo.
Exactly.
Stunning.
Exactly.
Stunning. Yep. And then you get invited back and then back and back. And like, you know, so yeah.
You got to play the game.
Glad to see him go.
You got to play the game. And he went up against Jasmine. What was it? Jasmine Kennedy?
Jasmine Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Yeah. Like, she's kind of a bore to me too, but she kind of turned it out for the lip sync. So I was like,
She did. Yeah, she did. And I like how she said too in the Untucked, she was like, I'm not worried about going home.
I was like, she talked that shit.
And I was like, you know what? And I'm glad that she backed that shit up too.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, and that's what you need to do, because it's a competition.
Literally.
You know?
Her eye makeup was fire, too. Her makeup was fire. Her gown, her outfit, nah. But
My
I was like,
biggest
oh,
critique with all of these queens, I don't know where they buying these wigs from,
it
but
is a bad
they
wig season.
every single like it, I have yet to see, like, I mean, there are some wigs that are cute, you know, like Bosco has some cute wigs because he's doing some little horns and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
It is.
these wigs look like them wigs they be having in the wig shop that be sitting in the window, you know,
That'd
that's
be
sitting right up
dusty.
there in front. Right. Like, there ain't no human hair where y'all live. And this Jasmine Kennedy's chick is from New York. So I'm like, where you buying your wigs from, girl?
It's
Like,
like, you ain't got no friends?
Look, I get my shit from Amazon and my shit be fire. So what's going on?
So do you feel that it's still a Willow and Gina and Jira? What the fuck her name is? I can never get her name.
And you cannot.
Angeria.
Yeah.
Is it still there's a win and lose?
And like I said, and I think Lady Camden is number 3. I think that is the top 3.
And she listened. See, and that's another good thing you got to do on this. You got to listen to Rue. Rue's gonna tell you what you need to do to win. Like she be guiding these queens, and some queens be hard headed. That bitch said, "Draw you a lip, bitch. Draw your ass a lip."
I'm still very surprised that Georges won, though. You know.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I agree.
Especially because I heard that doesn't Michelle hate a bodysuit or a leotard or whatever the case is.
Yeah,
pretty much what she wore. You know, so I was very, very surprised.
And so were the queens.
Yeah. I didn't care for Diabetes attitude though. You know, bitch, just up your pussy up. Shut the fuck up. I hate to be one of those girls, but you know, I really started from nothing. I didn't use what they gave us, and I was like, but you know, apparently that means you didn't use what you gave you because bitch, you were safe.
Yeah. But I have to say though, I mean, out of all the looks that people created, her look was the most professionally done, in my opinion. And so I can understand that, but you can
professionally ugly though. That's the thing. I didn't like it.
Not professionally ugly.
I'm just saying.
Leviticus 7:17.
Put that right there next to a pedestrian drag. It was professionally ugly.
I'm so done.
Oh my gosh.
And Jeria's church lady outfit was dope though.
Yeah.
I was I done seen that in the church. I done seen that at church.
Yeah. It kind of was, but did you see the ruffles on the top and how they were folded over napkins on top of each other? I was like, wait a minute now. What is going on?
I done seen that.
Yeah.
But yeah. For me it's still her and Willow for me.
I think the game changer is going to be Snatch Game for me anyways. I feel like all this other stuff that they're doing, because they're going to have more musicals, there's going to be more, you know, balls and, you know, and
choreography and all that shit.
Exactly. But for me, I think you'll really get to see who's who with the Snatch Game, because I'll be very curious with a lot of these personalities. And let's face it, now that Cornbread's out, which I'm still surprised that they didn't allow for 2 queens to be safe, because Cornbread came out of the competition, so they had a spot available.
Well, they brought back 2 queens, so they're like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
And diabetes still need to be gone. I
can't stand her. Honestly, she's
I feel like she has not fully found herself. She does look like Crystal Method. And what it is the makeup. She keeps thinking it's I'm more grungy. It's not even that. It's the aesthetic of your makeup is literally the same. And so
there are people that have similar makeup styles. So if you look at somebody like oh gosh, what's her name? There's those queens that do the anime kind of big eyes or whatever. There's Kimchi, Trixie Mattel. You know, there's a bunch of queens that are out there that do similar kinds of things. There was another one, the Asian one from LA. I forget what her name was, but at any rate, there are a bunch that do that. But again, the way that they're affecting that kind of makeup, it still shows their individuality.
Right.
And yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They're calling it. Like, you look so much like she looks so much like
Crystal.
thank you, Crystal, that they can't even see you.
Exactly.
And if that were me, I would be like, you know what? I'm changing everything.
I'm changing.
I would have too. I would have too.
Right.
Like, let me snatch somebody
I'm
else's
throwing away all my
here.
glitter, my glitter makeup.
Yeah.
I'm coming out with a nude face and a nude lip with big, like whatever. I'm going to switch it up.
Yep. And that's and Rue feels it. That's a queen that's getting in her feelings about it because it's too true. She's heard it before, and she hasn't done something to really exude herself. So she's heard it before. That's why she's mad, and so she's not listening to Rue. So she gone. She next. Either her or Deja. Deja need to go. Deja ain't doing nothing for me this season.
At all.
And they said, "Oh, she looked better with the darker wig." I was like, "That wig's still not good."
And that toga dress, I'm just like, y'all
you
like that?
You a seamstress? I could have done that one.
Well, and it was a conventional materials challenge. And usually with those kinds of challenges, the challenge is to use things that are not like fabric.
Yes, exactly.
And she came out with 2 tablecloths that are, in a toga.
And a sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
She definitely didn't use her sewing skills. If you
but then she was still in the top. I was like, really? They was smoking this episode. They got it wrong.
No, she was in the bottom.
Was she?
Oh yeah, she was the bottom.
Oh, she wasn't, because they didn't like the headpiece. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I was surprised that was like the fan and the headpiece. That was a thing that they really had a crawl about. Like
they were dragging that foil, bitch.
I'm like
Doyle. Was it Doyle?
Doily.
Yeah.
The silver doily that she turned into a fan and a crown or whatever. And I'm just like, that's
the worst. So we'll see what happens. So we're getting about to the halftime point. So they'll probably do the snatch game in the next
2 episodes.
Yeah. So that's when
they have to do the reading challenge, and then
the
reading challenge, and then they have to do the snatch game.
Yep, you're right. So we'll see. But yeah, it was Cornbread's to lose. So now she gone. It's Willow and Angeria to lose because nobody else is really stepping up.
I feel like Angeria is not like, I don't know what it is, but like she's not contributing like in the confessionals or whatever. Like every once in a while they'll show her, but it's just like you're not really seeing a lot. So I'm getting a little nervous that the balance of the show is going to be so boring because the personalities that are there, everybody's so like quasi introverted that it's like
somebody need to spice
this
up.
Somebody say something.
But see, I think that's because she had like a great edit at the beginning. And I think because she may end up winning, that they're like fading her out to kind of fade her into the back. Yes. So then you see her again a lot more at the end. Because she's always like top. She's always in the top. She's always in the top.
She hasn't stumbled yet.
Right. It's not like she hasn't been seen.
When she said, "You ugly bitch,"
that's the line of the season. That's the line of the season. That's the line of the season.
Ugly bitch.
The thing is, like, if she doesn't win, she's obviously going to be Miss Congeniality. We know that. Like, she's the only one with personality now. Or maybe they might give it to Willow because they might feel a way for Willow.
I feel like Miss Congeniality is usually the person that's helping other people, and I feel like Willow is the one that needs help.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. But the season. I'm done. It's time for us to go. So continue to watch Drag Race because we're gonna watch all season. We will catch you up on UK versus the world because there's some things I need to talk about on that one. So catch up with us. Watch it with us. Mo heart.
We gotta have a talk.
So do. Especially this last week's episode. I got something to say. But anything else, ladies, before we get out of here? I guess we're an hour and a half in.
Nope. Happy Black History Month.
Stay black.
Stay black. Stay black and safe.
Buy black.
Buy black.
Yes.
And subscribe, share, Go to our store.
MinorityReport.com, please. Thank you.
Yes.
And wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass. See you next week.
We love y'all.
Bye.
Not.
Bye.